Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. And as the title shows, just a short explanation to new people what we do here. We're trying to create structure for the week, plan for the week, based on what happened, what might happen. We'll go through some fundamentals. We'll look at economic calendar. We'll try to analyze what's the mood on the market, and trying to create a structure. And as you know, if you spend a little bit of a time and try to organize your thoughts and your future actions, it could actually improve your results. No guarantee, of course. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been trading for almost 25 years. June of this year will mark 25 years of me trading. I started as a prop trader in New York City. I did it for about 11 years, and then I moved to a less stressful environment, and I started to mentor and educate other traders. I'm very happy I have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. So the agenda of the webinar, as usual, we'll speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. As I said, we'll take a look at economic calendar, then we'll move to the charts, trying to look at the markets from a technical perspective and try to make sense and possible some, not the predictions, but plans or scenarios for the upcoming week. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades here. Social media, please feel free to subscribe to our channels. You have Telegram, you have X, you have YouTube, which I always say is my favorite. You have a lot of very useful information there, including tutorials, educational material, webinars that we are giving. They are being recorded and posted here. So please click on that subscribe button, click on the bell so you'll be notified of new things coming in. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to click on likes, only if you like it. We're not asking you to fake it. And also share it with people that might be interested in learning. Okay, also, of course, write your comments, questions if you have any. So the market, before I go to the articles, so it's all about tariffs again. We had a report from Wall Street. I don't want to bring the whole article here, but it says here, it came on the 25th, I think, which was Friday. It says the Trump administration is working on a new template to streamline tariffs negotiation with countries around the globe. It looks like something needs to be done because, I mean, the global markets lost trillions of dollars and things are not looking so bright. So we probably see some changes. So that hopeful mood came to the market, and we actually had a very nice move on the market. So we had weekly, daily wasn't so huge, but for the week, you have S&P 500 was up 4.6% and Nasdaq was up 6.7%. Nice moves on the US indices. Okay, let's just take a look at these few articles from Barron's. You can find them at marketwatch.com, I believe, if you're subscribed there. It says right here that President Trump has never shielded away of criticizing Federal Reserve. Okay, so we spoke about, I think, last week. It's an ongoing thing. It's kind of a not a war, but a little bit of an issue between the president and Powell, as president is blaming Powell for not cutting the rates soon enough and so on. So it's soft. It's got a little bit softer, but still we're having those issues. And I think the last paragraph here says the Powell Peer Economic Club of Chicago on the 16th delivering measured by unmistakable warning. We may find ourselves in the challenging scenario in which our dual mandate goals are in tension, he said. Nothing the tariffs are highly like to generate at least temporary rise in inflation with potentially more persistent effects. Trump tariffs, he said, could put the economy on the path toward weaker growth and faster inflation. I mean, this is not the new news, but it looks like things are getting a little bit softer here. Um, Here's another article. It says right here, the stock market surged this week. Why its next move looks to be lower. And it says right here, you can look at the articles. There's a lot of information there. It says here, don't be surprised though to see the nerves return. It says that, okay, you know what, let's just read the whole thing really quick. If the name of the game earlier this month was fear of trepidation, investors seem to have shed some of their nervousness about global trade war after President Trump said China tariffs would come down. Okay, and it says, don't be surprised though to see the nerves return. While the nursery rhyme tells us that April showers bring May flowers, it's more likely May soars for the Wall Street. This is the analyst saying here. I'm hiding out in bonds, even though it's not the sexiest position, says Frank Rubinsky, chief market strategist at Aeron Asset Management. Right, so it doesn't sound too promising, right? Time is running out for stock market. Trump's next move is crucial, and this is very interesting. Paragraph. It's not just about the market. I think it's a very interesting on the personal level. So let's just read it together. Whether it's waiting for delayed flight to find out if we got the new job or to see if we won the lottery, long periods of uncertainty are difficult to indulge. There's a desire to do something, have a stiff drink, send one too many follow-ups, or spend money we don't have to make time go faster, and to tamp down the anxiety that comes when faced with the unknown. Nice text. The stock market finds itself in that position now, waiting to see whether President Trump's tariff policy will cause a recession or whether the US can still emerge relatively unscathed. So this is it's true. We don't like to wait too long. You get anxious. You get all kind of thoughts. So let's see how this week plays. It's going to be a very, very busy week. We have a lot of news. This is the week before the following week, the Fed's decision on interest rate. We still have earnings. We have four out of magnificent seven reporting this week, which is Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple. It's going to be a very, very interesting week. Now, on the positive note here, this common worry about NVIDIA is laughable, Morgan Stanley says. A Morgan Stanley analyst doesn't think we are in an AI bubble and expects NVIDIA to benefit from robust inference demand for foreseeable future. That's an upbeat. NVIDIA, by the way, was up 4.3% on Friday. All right, and Feds, right here, the meeting is going to be on 6 and 7. The announcement is on the 7th of May. As of now, is only 10% probability of the rate cut. Let's go to economic calendar really quick. Before that, I just want to mention what it is for people that are not familiar with it. So it's public information. You can find it on our web trader or the app, or just Google it. A lot of providers of this information. You can know it ahead of time. You can choose whatever's relevant for your trading as far as countries, times, and other things. So here I take usually the high impact events only. Otherwise, it would be a lot more. Like I said, you can find what's relevant for you and just focus on that. The times here, I said GMT. So a lot of important things. So these are all high impact events. So we have Wednesday from Australia. We have CPI numbers China manufacturing PMI, also very, very important. GDP numbers from Germany, followed by GDP numbers from European Union, CPI inflation numbers from Germany, ADP employment numbers. That's kind of a taste of what NFPs could be following Friday. CPI, okay, not the CPI, but core personal consumption expenditure numbers. These are the numbers the Feds are really looking into as well. We have GDP numbers from US, also important, as we said earlier, that Powell is concerned with these tariffs, how it's going to be affecting the economy and the inflation. So we'll see how GDP shows. Thursday, we'll have trade balances from Australia. This is very, very, very important for both Japanese yen and, of course, the Nikkei 225 Japanese index. So interest rate decision from Bank of Japan on Thursday, manufacturing PMI on Thursday as well from US. And Friday brings us to important news. You have retail sales from Australia, CPI numbers from European Union, and here we go to NFPs and unemployment numbers from US. This is the important number before the following week's decision, of course. As Feds are really, really paying attention to employment, not just the inflation. Okay, so these are the things that definitely will be affecting the markets in the upcoming week. All right, tradition, losers and winners. Here I have mixed, usually I show commodities here, I put indices because I started with the highest winners, and that's what we have for the week. The futures, cocoa up 13.5%, coffee up 7%, Nasdaq, as we said, was up 6.39%, DAX, German index up 5.43, Nikkei up 4.5%, S&P's up 4.5%, Dow Jones up 2.4%. So these are the winners. On the losing side, natural gas was down 6.76%, wheat down 3.11%, palladium down 2.11%, and crude oil down 1.3%. Now in the Forex, of course, we included the Bitcoin there, which is the biggest gainer. Technically, it is kind of Forex. It's BTC against USD here. So up 10.76% on Bitcoin. It was a nice pop this past week. We'll take a look at the charts when we get there. USD Swiss also a little bounce to the upside, 1.41. Pound yen up 127, and dollar yen up 1.08%. So we'll take a look at them individually when we get to the charts. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the charts. As we said, we'll start with indices, okay, and we'll start with China, as China is probably the most affected by these tariffs. And take a look, we are slowly, as we said last week, slowly stepping up after breaking above the 200 moving average. We're sitting right on the stake of 150-day moving average, and roughly in the middle of this channel that's been forming for a very long time, right? The moment we got back into this channel, that was October of last year. We had some pops to the upside, drops to the downside. We had a big drop here with the tariffs, and guess what? We're back right in the middle of the channel. So from here, logically speaking, can go down and retest the bottom, and it's also close to 200 moving average. If we continue to go higher, if we hear some positive news in tariffs and so on, we might actually follow to the upside and retest the top of this channel, which is 13,720. The Japanese index, as we said, had a nice week to the upside. 3 weeks in a row, very nice, robust move to the upside. We are on the way to possibly testing the 50-day moving average here. US indices, as we said, they had a nice run this past week. S&P, as we said, I think Nasdaq was the biggest gainer here in the weekly chart. Let's take a quick look. Very nice move to the upside. Nasdaq was up almost 6.4%. We just broke through the 50-day moving average here. If we continue higher, we might come. Of course, psychological level of 2,000 would be next in line. This last resistance here on the spike that we rejected, it was 20,041. So if we continue higher, we might be retesting that. Take a look, a very nice week. Besides Monday, we had 4 days to the upside. So that's on Nasdaq. The next in line for gaining was German DAX. Very nice recovery after dropping on tariffs. We dropped below 20,000. We closed at 22.5, above all moving averages here. If we continue higher, we probably, if the move is going to be strong, we might continue higher here. Now the drop started here with the big candle here on the 3rd of April, and the high here was 22,630.5, about 120 plus points to the upside. Definitely we'll be watching that. S&Ps, nice move to the upside. We are playing with the 50-day moving average here. Let's see how this week plays with all the data and all the expectations and nervousness, as we said in the article. Dow Jones, also had a nice positive week. Friday wasn't so great for Dow Jones, almost flat, and we far from the 50-day moving average. So out of 3, between Dow Jones, S&Ps, and Nasdaq, Dow Jones looks the weakest. If we continue higher, we might be catching up and retesting the 50-day moving average, or this spike here on the 9th of April, which had the high of 41,139 right here. Right, so that's on the indices. Let's take a quick look at UK. UK also had a very nice recovery. We broke this week above the 200 moving average and really having a resistance at around 100-day moving average here on the UK index. So those are the indices. Let's move to individual stocks. We had Tesla moving higher, even though the earnings were not so great. For this week, we have few important earnings, and that's, as we said, 4 companies that are in the Magnificent 7 group, which is Meta Platform. Where are you? Here we go. So as you could see here, we had a few days with the gaps. Friday was a gap up and pretty much flat. Let's take a look. Opening and closing price, it's still within $1. Okay, so Meta is reporting on Wednesday. Microsoft as well reporting on Wednesday. Microsoft had a nice move here, trading above 50-day moving average and challenging this reversal candle when the tariffs were put on hold, as we remember, on the 9th of April. So that's Microsoft. So both Meta and Microsoft are reporting on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have Amazon and Apple. Here we go. Here comes Apple. Also looks nice. A little bit weaker. We're far from the 50-day moving average. We have another gap here. Possibly we'll try to close if we should move higher here. So Apple is reporting on Thursday, and the same thing with Amazon reporting on Thursday. Similar situation here. The thing is, take a look at 50-day moving average is below 200, and that's something that analysts call dead cross, which potentially could signal selling. So obviously it shows on the chart here, so definitely we'll be watching that. Amazon together with Apple again reporting on Thursday. Friday we have Chevron and Exxon, the oil giants. They are reporting on Friday, both of them. You could see they really had a tough ride here with the oil dropping and then the oil start recovering. They had a little bit of recovery here, maybe 40% from the drop, roughly, visually, if you look at it. So they both are reporting. So this is Exxon. Chevron doesn't look that strong. It didn't have really such a recovery, but the drop was very, very strong. And if you remember, the move up was also stronger previously than Exxon. So I think the drop was more intense. Take a look at these gaps as oil was falling. Wow. Both of them are reporting on Friday. Also, let's take a quick look at NVIDIA's. We read that small paragraph that some analysts are expecting good news for NVIDIA. Let's take a quick look. As we said, Friday was a very good day. Take a look. We did close that gap from the 15th of April. Nice recovery. We're still below the 50-day moving average here. If we continue higher, there would be a test, also the test of this reversal candle, as most of the stocks show it on the 9th of April, the 90-day delay or postponing the tariffs. So if we are continue higher, that could be our next checkpoint here, the high of 114.99, so 115 roughly, right? So NVIDIA 115 checkpoint if we should move higher from here. So that's as far as stocks. Again, 4 major stocks reporting: Meta, Quote, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple. So Meta and Microsoft on Wednesday, Amazon and Apple on Thursday, and the oil giants, let's call them that way, are reporting on Friday, Chevron and Exxon. Of course, there's so much more companies reporting, but these are the major ones to take a look at. Let's move to commodities and let's take a quick look at a few winners and losers. So we said cocoa was up 13.5%. Nice move after settling here, a lot of consolidation here. The question is, will we break through the previous attempt here that happened the 3rd of April? The high here was 94.85. We closed 40 points below. So that's a very, very important strategic level here from which we made, we didn't make a lower low, but we dropped significantly and very quick. So that move to the upside was erased in the equal move to the downside, even stronger. So cocoa, let's watch. Should we break it to the upside, or should we go down again and have a double bottom, which could, double top, which could signal another move to the downside if it fails to break through it. That's cocoa. Coffee, we just broke through the trend line here, the previous highs, a strong move to the upside, but we did fail to close higher than the previous high here, 405.20. We closed about 6 points lower on coffee. So that's as far as the winners and the losers. Natural gas has been selling. If you remember, we spoke about the 3 level as we had a double bottom here. This week we did break below and continued lower. So the low for this week was on Thursday, 285.6. Friday, we tried to move higher. We have the inside bar for Friday. So the question, which way we're going to go? If we break the Thursday's low, we might slide lower. If we break through the Thursday's high, we might move higher and retest the 3 level again. So that's natural gas. Another loser was wheat also. So you could see here the whole week we're pretty much selling. There was a spike down on Thursday, which recovered, ended up in a little bit of a green day. And Friday's opening and closing were above the closing of that Thursday. So that could mean potentially that we are holding this 528 level. As you could see in the past, a lot of attempts to break through it held, and then in January 13th to be specific, we started the move to the upside, which after a small correction ended up being a very significant move to the upside. So on the other side, we have clearly lower highs and lower lows. Let's see how this upcoming week plays to it. But as of now, we are holding this 528 level on wheat. Palladium was another loser for the week. We are kind of trying to break above the 50-day moving average here. Our support is around 925. That's what this big move down stopped initially. Let's see how this week will play for palladium and crude oil as well. We had a down week, pretty much. Let's see what it shows in the chart. It's weird. Okay, I took the numbers from the source. It showed down 1.31%, and on the chart here it shows that it's actually up for the week. In any way, crude oil, it's worth watching. Negotiations with Iran are still going on. We don't know what's going to happen. I think it's in negotiation on the terms of negotiation. So we're far away from any solutions, I'm sure. After a huge drop to the downside, we're trying to recover here. Let's see where we are in Fibonacci retracement. We are right between the 38 and the 50% retracement. But we'll continue watching oil. We'll follow the news as far as geopolitical situation goes. So that's on crude oil. Let's take a quick look at other usual suspects that are not on the losers and gainers list. Copper, with the China moving higher, also helped copper a lot. We had slowly recovered here, closing at 484. Friday we had the spike to the downside. You could see in the hourly chart, it looks we had the drop and then recovered here. So we'll continue watching copper. We are above all 200, 150-day moving average here. We're kind of in the air. We can go and retest the 5. We can also drop and retest the previous area here of support. It's a situation where we can go either way. But if you look at it, we are above the averages. It looks very good. Strong recovery with a lot of tails. That means they try, some traders call it liquidity traps. Some say it's just take the stops out, which both are pretty much the same. If you see these tails and closing higher, it just literally means that everybody with the stops are getting kicked out and we are moving higher. So that's on copper. We'll follow, of course, what China is doing, what general global markets are doing as well. Gold, our major safe haven. After this drop on the 22nd, we are trading at the bottom part of that candle. It doesn't look that promising, but as you could see, every time we drop below, the buyers are coming in. So it's kind of neutral. We're waiting what's happening. We have a lot of news this week. We have earnings for the equities. We have, of course, the jobs report. We have high expectations and nervousness about the tariff solution, and I think that's why gold, together with other instruments, is kind of sitting put here and waiting what's next. As you could see, after this drop, we're not moving anywhere. We're sitting pretty much at the levels or close to the levels of April 22nd closing. So that's on gold. Now moving to FX. Let's take a quick look at those winners. Dollar Swiss. Before that, you know what? Let's take a quick look at dollar index. It was a tough move here. We had a drop, a little consolidation, and another leg down. Then we had another gap here, and then we moved up and trading at 99.35 on a dollar index. So let's take a quick look at weekly chart. So 3 consecutive weeks, probably 4. This could be negative as well. First week to the upside, you could see here. Let's just try to use some visuals so it's going to be easier for us. So the previous level here from which we made a higher high, that's why important to mark it here. So the low here was 99.20, right? Here we tried, and we tried to get there again, failed from here. The moment we broke above the 200-week moving average, we had a nice move to the upside. This is the weekly chart, so just trying to see the big picture, right? After hitting here the recent weekly high on January 12th, we were moving lower here, and then we came to retest this level from July, mid-July of 2023. We did manage to close above it. There was no closing below it so far. Let's see. Low. Yeah, we did have one closing here the previous week. Now this week we went way below that level but closed higher on the weekly chart. So the question is, are we still holding this level? Again, the low here, 99.20. You know, let's just fix it. We'll have exactly as it shows. Okay, so 99.20 crucial, right? From here, we made a high comparing to the previous highs. So kind of the trend changed right from here. Okay? And again, that was July, the week of July 16th, 2023. We came back a little bit less than 2 years later, and we are retesting that 99.20 level. It's very, very important. What is kind of encouraging for dollar, so we did close the week below on the nice large candle. That means that at certain point, the buyers thought there was a bargain and came in and bought the whole move out. So it's very, very important. So this 99.20 level, it's holding. We're back to a daily chart, and we'll continue watching that. So dollar Swiss, we had a nice recovery here. This was on the 22nd, and we're holding at the top range of the candle, up 141% for the week. Pound yen, also a nice move to the upside. We are between a 50 and 100-day moving average here. And dollar yen as well, trying to continue the upside move from here. Now, yen in general, as we said, this week is going to be a decision from Bank of Japan. So let's take a look at other pairs. Look strong comparing to yen after some weak period Swiss franc up. Euro yen looks very strong here. Had a strong move on Friday. A lot of tails. No wonder you could say it's a little bit hard to trade these days. How do you trade these tails? GBP, JPY, pound yen. We are testing the 100-day moving average here, and New Zealand dollar. So as you can see across the board, it looks like the traders are betting on the weaker yen, right? So let's see what that decision will do to yen when it comes this upcoming week. So that's as far as the forex. And let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and Ripple. Bitcoin, a nice move, which broke through this 200-day moving average here with a super strong candle. We are playing with this level right here. This was a strong candle on March 2nd. The high here was 95.051. Let's see. 51. So far, see, it's important to know levels. They don't work 100%, but take a look. For some reason, we stopped here. It's very simple because a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, we stopped here and then we sold. So it looks like the sellers are still there, and the buyers are a little bit cautious to step in. So we are struggling now with the 95,000 here. Let's see what's next. That's on Bitcoin and XRP. XRP looks very interesting here. As we said, the $2 level has been holding XRP. Fundamentally, we had a lot of hopes. The traders tried to realize. We had a drop here when the whole market went down, crypto went down with it. We had a very strong base here on 204 for a while before we shoot up and hit the 50-day moving average here. Here, you could say it could be a bullish flag that we're waiting to the breakout. It could be that we come back to retest closer to 2, could be anything. But we're really hugging that 50-day moving average here, right? So some traders that follow the volume, I don't know how accurate this volume is, but here you have a move up on the high volume and the consolidation is happening on the diminishing or lowering on the volume. That's a very healthy sign. Nice consolidation. We could be preparing to the move higher. Of course, there's always the opposite scenario in store. We can just drop in and retest the low of this candle as well. We'll be watching that on cryptos. In the past few days, they look strong. As we said, the Bitcoin is playing with 95,000. XRP is holding nicely above 2 and possibly preparing for the move to the upside. Okay, so I think that's it for today. It's important to just summarize what we have for this week. We have 4 major companies that are part of the 7 magnificent stocks, right? We have Apple, or in order they come. On Wednesday, Meta and Microsoft. On Thursday, we have Amazon and Apple. We have NFP numbers. We have inflation numbers. We have interest rate decision from Japan. We are preparing for the Fed's meeting, and of course, the whole attention is on Trump's administration, on new announcements as far as tariffs. And I want to wish everyone a good weekend, get some energy, prepare yourself for an intense and exciting week. Have a wonderful and successful week. All the best. Take care.